So far, we've talked about two of your brain's favorite traps. The action trap, where motion replaces meaning, and input addiction, where learning replaces doing. But there's a third one. It's the most dangerous because it's invisible. It's what makes smart people stay stuck for years, even when they're doing everything right. It's called the progress illusion. The progress illusion happens when you mistake comfort for growth. It's subtle. It feels like progress because you're improving things on the surface, optimizing routines, polishing systems, upgrading tools. You feel better but not different. It's like rearranging furniture in a house you secretly want to leave. It feels productive. But deep down, you know you're avoiding the move that actually matters. The progress illusion is powered by something psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. It means no matter how much progress you make, your brain quickly adapts and moves the finish line. You earn more money, you feel happy for a week, then it becomes normal. You hit a goal, feel proud for a day, then you crave the next one. That's why progress feels endless, because your brain isn't chasing growth. It's chasing stimulation. You're not addicted to success. You're addicted to the feeling of becoming successful. The comfort zone disguise. Here's the tricky part. As you get better at what you do, your comfort zone expands. You start working hard, but only inside that new comfort zone. You trick yourself into thinking you're evolving when you're actually just perfecting the same patterns. It's like a hamster that builds a nicer, shinier wheel and tells itself it's free, but it's still running in circles. So how do you escape that? You need to start measuring progress differently. The three dimensions of true growth. Real growth happens in three dimensions: skill, depth, and identity. Let's break them down. One, skill, what you can do. This is the surface level of growth. It's learning new abilities, languages, tools, strategies, habits. Skill growth is visible, easy to measure, and feels rewarding. But it's also the most deceptive because once you master a skill, your brain wants the next shiny one. That's why so many people jump from one goal to another, learning, improving, but never transforming. Skill is important, but it's only the doorway. Two, depth. How deeply you understand depth is what happens when you stop chasing new things and start mastering what you already know. It's rereading the same book 5 times until it changes you. It's revisiting a project not to add more, but to refine, simplify, and make it mean something. Depth requires stillness, and that's why it's rare, because our brains are wired for novelty, not nuance. The world rewards quick learners, but it forgets that true mastery is just repetition with reflection. Depth is what separates experts from amateurs, not how much they know, but how deeply they understand what they know. And then there's the third, the hardest, most important dimension: identity. This is when growth stops being about what you do and starts being about who you are. Most people never reach this stage because it requires unlearning. You stop asking, what should I do to be successful? And start asking, what kind of person do I need to be for success to feel natural? It's not about habits anymore. It's about alignment. When your actions, values, and goals finally point in the same direction, that's when growth becomes effortless. How these three dimensions interact. Here's how it all fits together. Skill makes you capable. Depth makes you wise. Identity makes you unstoppable. Skill without depth makes you useful, but replaceable. Depth without identity makes you thoughtful, but uncertain. Identity without skill makes you confident, but ineffective. Only when all three evolve together do you experience real progress. Why the brain fights identity growth? But here's the catch. Identity change is terrifying to the brain because every identity shift means death to an older version of you. Your brain's primary mission is to keep you alive, not to help you evolve. So when you try to grow, it resists. That's why you sabotage yourself right when things start working. That's why you suddenly lose motivation after progress. Your brain isn't broken. It's protecting the identity you've outgrown. This is called homeostasis bias, the psychological need to maintain internal stability, even when it keeps you small. The fight between the old you and the new you. Picture this. There are two versions of you living in your head. The old you, who knows comfort, predictability, and safety, and the new you who sees possibility, growth, and meaning. Every time you try to level up, the old you whispers, wait, this isn't safe. Let's stay here a little longer. That whisper sounds logical. It sounds smart, but it's really just fear dressed as wisdom. You'll never feel ready to become the next version of yourself because readiness doesn't come before transformation. It's born through it. The identity shift framework. If you want real growth, not the illusion of it, here's a simple but powerful process. 1. Awareness. Notice which version of you is making decisions, the old one or the new one. If your choices are driven by comfort, it's the old one. 2. Alignment. Start acting like the person you want to become before you feel like them. Identity leads behavior, not the other way around. 3. Adjustment. Your brain will resist. That's good. That's proof you're growing. Each discomfort is evidence of transformation. If you can stay in the discomfort long enough, your brain eventually rewires, and your new identity becomes the default. That's how change becomes permanent. The formula for real progress. Let's combine everything. Real progress equals meaningful action, times applied, knowledge times evolving identity, divided by time. Meaningful action is what breaks the action trap. Applied knowledge is what breaks input addiction. Evolving identity is what destroys the progress illusion. When all three align, your growth compounds. You stop chasing productivity and start creating transformation. Reflection exercise. The 3 checkpoints. Before you end your day, ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Did I do something meaningful or just something visible? 2. Did I apply something I learned or just consume it? 3. Did I make a choice today that my future self would be proud of? If you can answer yes to even one of those, you're growing. Truly growing. Because growth isn't loud. It's not always visible. Sometimes it's just the quiet decision to stop betraying your potential. A final thought. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another hack, another system, another book. You already know what to do. Your brain just keeps distracting you with things that feel like progress because it's scared of what real progress might demand. So here's the truth. You can keep chasing that next hit of I'm improving, or you can finally start living like someone who already has. The difference is subtle, but life-changing, because the day you stop needing to feel productive is the day you finally become powerful.